Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to this video where we're going to be taking a look at my top 5 meta alternatives. Obviously meta players are incredibly sought after, so they're also incredibly expensive because of that. They are fantastic players with great stats, perfect for their position, and they play in very good leagues most of the time, and they obviously have really good nations too. So these are the players that people really desire, but I'm going to be showing you 5 alternatives for these players that mainly come from either the same league or the same nation, play definitely in the same position or can be moved into the same position, that will essentially allow you to recreate that meta player but for a fraction of the price. Obviously if you do enjoy this video, please remember to hit that like button, as that will really help me out. And if you have any questions about the players that are featured, maybe you think I've missed someone out, leave all of that in the comments below, as I love hearing what you guys have to say. So without further ado, now we're going to go ahead guys and bring him down here, and we're going to go ahead and put in his alternative, which I feel is Gareth Bale. Now an interesting one, obviously they're not the same nation, but they do play in the same league and they do play in the same position, which is why I've gone for Bale. Both incredibly quick. In fact, Bale is actually quicker than Messi. Both with decent dribbling, although obviously Messi's is absolutely insane, but Bale's can be upped. The only two areas that this guy is lacking, as you can see when you look between the two of them, in reality, is his passing and his dribbling. Both are very quick, both have insane shooting, as you'll see in the side-by-side comparison. Both are really solid players. Yes, Messi is that little bit more OP, but if you use the right chemistry style on him for where you want to play him, whether it's right wing, right forward, or even just right midfield, although I would imagine you'd want them higher up the pitch, you can get an awful lot out of Bale, because he is a fantastic card with some incredible stats right off the bat, really affordable at around 50k, which I think is an absolute bargain for him. Obviously he's not the most highest rated player in the world, but 85 is still decent, plays in a great league, really fantastic card and a brilliant player to use in game. I actually used this guy and loved him. He was always popping up with goals. You can obviously use him in many different positions, whether you're bringing him on as a sub, using him out wide, or using the old switcheroo in game to maybe play him up front like I did. I think he is one hell of a player that will really make a difference for your team. If you don't quite have the 800 to 1 million coins that you probably need, then he really is a great alternative to Lionel Messi. Okay, so the next player we're going to go ahead and look at an alternative for is N'Golo Kante. Now as you can see, this card is absolutely fantastic. Everyone loves N'Golo Kante and he's a brilliantly sought after player in game. The options for replacing him are, to be honest, quite plentiful. There are a lot of decent players, Kante being one of them, Sissoko and Dombele, as you can see there, but the one I really like the look of is Wilfred Ndidi. I think this guy is fantastic. Obviously he was actually brought in to replace Kante, so a kind of obvious choice, but with the right chemistry style on him, this guy can be very good. He is a really OP player, as you will see with some of the clips, always in the right areas, defends really well, protects the back four, and really does provide a good screen for them, as Kante does. And what I love about them both is that they do cover the pitch quite well. Indeed, he actually feels a lot quicker in game, in all honesty. Yes, he may not be as quick as Kante, but you really can get a lot out of him, and with the right chemistry style on him, as I said before, you can up that area and up his defence, and you really can get a solid alternative to a very expensive Kante card. As you can see there, they're not too dissimilar actually between the two of them. Both have got okay pace. You know, Kante's, yes, is better, but as I say, with the right chemistry style on him, Ndidi can be close to that. Their defence and their physicality are very similar. And again, up in that area, you really can create a very solid alternative for an absolute fraction of the price, which is always advantageous. Now our third player comes in as the alternative for Marco Reus. Marco Reus is quite expensive and a lot of people are using him at striker, as I did myself, and I really loved him. I thought he was incredibly overpowered, really was an absolute meta player within this game, especially early on. Very clinical, incredibly pacey with very good dribbling, and that is a great thing that you will love to have on that sort of player. Now an alternative to Marco Reus is definitely going to be Timo Werner. As you can see, they're both ridiculously quick. Werner actually quicker than Marco Reus, although both feel very fast in game. The dribbling isn't too dissimilar. Yes, 87 is better than 82, but with the right chemistry style on him, I would advance the dribbling and the shooting skills. The shooting on Werner is already really solid. This guy is one of the best finishers in the game. Very clinical when he gets inside the box. Yes, his shot power and long shots aren't maybe the most prolific in the world. Maybe not as good as Marco Reus's, which are very phenomenal. But to be honest, these sort of cards, you're not really going to be wanting to get them from distance. You're going to be playing them in on the shoulder of the last defender and getting them clean one-on-one with the goalkeeper, where both of them really excel. So yes, there are a few deficiencies against the Werner compared with Marco Reus, but with the right chemistry style on him and the way that this guy plays naturally, he will score a ton of goals. And if you want a really good prolific striker for your Bundesliga team, but you don't have the ability to go out and buy Marco Reus and convert him into a striker, then Timo Werner is definitely a fantastic option. Obviously, if you're looking to play him more at cam, then maybe you want to pick someone else. There are a lot of good cams within the Bundesliga that could replace Marco Reus, but using him as a striker, Timo Werner is definitely the one to choose. Now, our penultimate pick comes in the form of replacing the enigmatic and the somewhat troublesome at the moment Neymar, but ultimately brilliant. You cannot deny his absolute superb brilliance on the ball. This guy is incredibly quick with fantastic dribbling and very solid shooting and passing. Now, my option, the most expensive alternative in this lineup, but I still think very affordable, his price is likely to come down because of his rating not being that high, is going to be the Scream Bernard. Now, obviously an incredible upgrade because of that Scream rating. This guy is a really solid pick. Yes, he doesn't play in the same league, but he does play in the same position and he does have the same nation, so still very good and very viable for fitting into similar teams where you might use Neymar. They possess some very similar stats. As you can see, they're both incredibly quick, both really solid with their dribbling. They both possess pretty similar skill moves, obviously not quite the 5-star for his weak foot and skill moves that Neymar does, but Bernard comes with 4-star, which is very usable. Incredible agility, balance, really solid player. As you can see there in his attribute details, this guy is a really good pick. Very agile, brilliant on the ball, really quick, good finishing, great attack positioning, which is really similar to Neymar's. In fact, beating him in certain areas. Very good from distance as well, with really good shot power, very clinical up front, really good for getting in behind, as is Neymar, and also running the ball himself. It is an expensive card. It did cost me around the sort of 150 to 170k. Can't quite remember how much I picked this guy up for, but it wasn't cheap. But when you compare it to the 800,000 coins or so that Neymar's going for, I think it's an absolute bargain and a price that's likely to come down, as I said before, because of the 84 rating. He is a really fantastic card. Bernard is definitely a really good viable option to replace Neymar for sure. Now, our final pick comes in the form of replacing the man mountain that is Virgil van Dijk, a staple for anyone who can get him into their team. This guy really is one of the first names on your team sheet. He's a leader, he is a fantastic defender that very few attackers can get past. So trying to replace him, obviously with an alternative that is a fraction of the price, is quite a difficult and tricky thing to do. But I think we have the best alternative in the form of Davinson Sanchez for many reasons. Both are really aggressive defenders. Davinson Sanchez, as does Van Dijk, defends on the front foot. They don't let attackers have time to breathe. They're very aggressive, very strong, really good for winning the ball back. They both have decent pace, as you can see there, 77 compared with the 74 that Davinson Sanchez has, is really solid. Yes, maybe Sanchez isn't quite the ball player that Van Dijk has, but that really is a luxury in my opinion, and I don't think it's a necessity to have on your centre-backs. It's a nice luxury, as I say, but really what you want is pace and you want great defensive prowess. And Sanchez has that in a nutshell. He is brilliant. He is so strong, aerially very good too. Really good at both defending set plays and also trying to get on the end of them. But his defence and his physicality are what I really love about him. Very similar to Van Dijk, and with the right chemistry style on him, you can really make the most of those areas and you can really take advantage of his incredible strength, his defensive awareness and his great tackling ability, which are really similar to what Van Dijk has. Yes, not quite as overpowered, but as I say, with the right chemistry style on him. Forget about the dribbling and passing, don't try and emulate that. Upgrade his pace, upgrade his defence, and you can make a very good alternative to spending an absolute ton of coins on Virgil van Dijk. So that does complete the list, guys. That was my top 5 alternatives, my players for meta alternatives for the ones that we've featured here. There are tons of other meta players though, obviously, that we can feature, so leave me comments below if you think I maybe missed out anyone, maybe there's a better alternative for one of the players that I featured within this video. And also, if you want to see alternatives for other meta cards, let me know which meta players you would like featured an alternative shown for in the next video. And peace.